Have you ever tried to live in a well in the middle of the desert? Yeah, I didn't think so. Don't you hate it when you walk into your house and instantly blow up? Have you ever been to one of those hotels where everything is like really bad? They might not have what you want, or all the stuff might be broken, or there might be a bunch of deadly traps in it? Well, this video is for you because today I'm going to be ranking every Minecraft structure based on its habitability in real life. And spoiler alert, yeah, a lot of them are really bad. So yeah, I'll start off by saying again that this is just a stupid list and it's just my opinion, but if you guys have any opinions about it, I'd love to hear it in the comments. Also remember that most of these aren't good for living in because it's Minecraft, it's pretty relative. So basically just don't expect all of these to have a shower and a kitchen and a TV is what I'm saying. Like, they're all pretty much just structures. Wow, what amazing commentary. Anyway, I think this time, for this list, let's start at the top in S tier. At number 1, to no one's surprise, at the top of S, the best structure for living in is the village. Now, yeah, obviously this one is good. It's literally a village. However, I think one important point I need to bring up is that I'm also including all the mobs and stuff that come with the structure. So obviously you might think, oh, a woodland mansion's really big, surely that's like one of the best structures, but actually it's not because of, well, these guys. Anyway, so yeah, the village is at number 1. Lots of houses, farms, beds, stuff like that. Pretty much as good as it gets in the world of Minecraft, even though some of the houses are pretty small. And so at number 2, actually, for the next best, I've put the igloo. So yeah, I know that this wouldn't be most people's ideal place to live, but actually if you think about it, for the most part, it's actually pretty good. It's just a nice enclosed space with a basement. Yeah, so it's just a nice enclosed space with a basement and stuff. Obviously, only some of the time. But let's assume it does. And yeah, obviously it would be cold, like it's in the middle of a snowy area. But there's actually a decent amount of stuff in here. There's a bed, a furnace. I mean, obviously there's like a zombie down here, but there's still more space down here for stuff. And yeah, honestly, it's only really an S because this and the village are kind of like the only places people actually live in real life, I guess. But honestly, I think it fits an S. Definitely not as good as the village, obviously, but yeah. Anyway, so that's already it for S tier, and yeah, there really is not that many in these higher tiers. So next up on the list we've got the abandoned village, and honestly it's kind of just a village but, well, abandoned. But honestly in the grand scheme of things it's still really good. Obviously the main problem is there's zombie villages instead of villagers, but I kind of feel like, well, like you just saw that, you couldn't just wait for them to burn in the day, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. And other than that, there's just some cobwebs and stuff. I mean, there's still stuff in the chest. So overall, yeah, it's definitely worse than the normal village, but it's still honestly one of the best on this list. Alright, so next up at number 4, I've actually put the Desert Temple. And I was originally going to put this one lower, but hear me out for this. Yeah, obviously there's the problem of like the massive bomb in the basement, but other than that, I actually think it's pretty good. Like, it's a nice, decent space. It's got multiple floors. Like, it's decently enclosed, but not too much. And yeah, it's in the middle of the desert, but honestly, like, I think it could work, especially if you had a bit of refurbishment. What the heck is this guy doing in here? And yeah, obviously it wouldn't be ideal, but like I said before, obviously a lot of the structures aren't bad, and I actually do think this is one of the better ones. I definitely think this one could be underrated, but maybe you disagree, I don't know. I mean, if you wanted, you could even put stuff down here if you managed to disarm it, but yeah, it would be a little bit of a problem if you, Anyway, that's it for A tier, and now onto the B tier. Okay, so to be honest with you, even in B tier already, like, there's definitely a lot of flaws with these structures. Like, they're not exactly ideal to live in, but they definitely could work given the right stuff. And so at number 5, I put the Jungle Temple. Actually, it's called the Jungle Pyramid. No, shut up. It's a Jungle Temple. It's not a pyramid. So I think this one is kind of like the Desert Temple, but sort of just worse. Like, there's less space. There's like traps and stuff. Obviously, that's a bit of a problem. But again, I honestly think it wouldn't actually be too bad. Like, there's a bunch of different floors to put stuff in. It's nice and closed down here, and if you could just sort of get the right stuff in here, I think it might be alright. So yeah, it's definitely more run down than the Desert Temple, but other than that, it's sort of similar, and I think B tier kind of works for it. Okay, so this one probably is a bit left field, but at number 6, I've actually put the Stronghold. So immediate problems, obviously, it's really deep underground, so like, that's kind of a problem. And at face value, yeah, it's very dark and gloomy, like it's just a bunch of winding corridors. But I think it's a big structure and there's a lot of room for improvement with it. Like, it's very big, obviously, because of all the corridors and stuff. So I feel like if you had the right stuff in here, maybe you could make it a bit more homey and nice. And then stuff like the Silverfish is like nothing more than a nuisance, really. There's even stuff like the library, I guess, kind of has stuff going for it-ish. But yeah, like I said, this one might be a bit too high, but I think it could work if you had the right stuff. Alright, and so number 7, ending off B tier, I've put the Witch Hut. Okay, so obviously, in terms of the actual structure, like, it is a hut, so it's not too bad. I think, obviously, the main thing is sort of the witch is a bit of a problem in this one. So that's kind of why it's lower than, like, the igloo and stuff, I guess. But I think if you could somehow kill the witch, or, I don't know, make peace with it somehow, I don't even know, then it would actually be a decent place to live, I think. And there's even there even should be a cat somewhere as well. Anyway, again, it's definitely not good, and B tier definitely seems high, but yeah, this list does not have a lot of good things. Right, so starting off in C tier, I've put the End City. Now, yeah, so even in C tier, these structures are far less than ideal to live in, but they might have potential. And I think this is one of these ones which is going to be common in the future, where obviously, I mean, it's a big city, it would be nice to live in, but the presence of a bunch of enemies would make it not very ideal. I think in this case though, if you somehow managed to avoid the shulkers or had some sort of contingency plan for them, it could work. It's a pretty nice, like, decent sized city. So at number 9, I've actually put the Abandoned Mineshaft. And yeah, why? I have no idea why. Why did I put this here? This is so bad. Anyway, my reasoning at the time of making the script was that it's sort of similar to the Stronghold, but worse in that there's a bunch of corridors and stuff. But, like, you could sort of do stuff with them. Honestly, yeah, I might even have to change my ranking on this one. This is kind of diabolical. I mean, yeah, again, my reasoning in this is saying, oh yeah, you could make it slightly livable because it's, like, at least decently big, but, like, yeah, I would not be surprised if you think this one is worse than C, because this is not ideal. And so finally, ending off our C tier, I've put the Trail Ruins. So yeah, again, this one is pretty bad. Like, obviously at first, it's pretty much completely covered up like this. I think if you could dig it out though, you could make it maybe livable if you fixed it up. But, like, yeah, it isn't that big, and obviously it's completely covered. Yeah, I think it could be some sort of decent, weird kind of underground bunker thing, maybe, if you did it right. And honestly, like I said, I think it's only in C just because it has some sort of potential, unlike the other ones. Anyway, that's it for C tier, and yeah, I know these rankings probably absolutely diabolical. Please don't kill me, I'm bait. Okay, so moving into D tier, the structures are like really bad now. It's also where I feel like some of my rankings definitely are a bit iffy. I mean, some of the ones before were, but like it definitely, a lot of these could move around in their tier a lot because it's kind of subjective based on how dangerous you think they are. I don't know. Anyway, first up and kind of setting a common trend for D tier is the Woodland Mansion. So yeah, like I said, a lot of the ones in D are like good structures to live in, but they're made, well, bad because of a bunch of enemies and stuff. So yeah, like the Woodland Mansion in terms of the actual structure is definitely like probably the best one to live in. I mean, it's absolutely massive. There's so much stuff in here, so many rooms. Obviously there's just a bunch of illagers in here which are very dangerous and probably would just kill you. So again, it is kind of subjective based on how dangerous you think the illagers are, but I think it definitely puts the Woodland Mansion pretty low down because yeah, it's a good structure, but like it is not safe. Okay, and then next up after the mansion is the trial chambers. I'd say this is pretty similar to the mansion in that it's a nice big place, but obviously there's just a bunch of enemies that kind of just keep spawning, which yeah, I mean that's a big problem. I think also in terms of actually living, it's definitely not quite as good for actually living in compared to the Woodland Mansion, so it's one spot lower. Honestly, at this point, the best thing to do would just be to sell all this copper and buy an actual house. Okay, and then next up at number 13 is the Pillager Outpost. Now, yeah, again, it's kind of similar to the Woodland Mansion because words, why can't I remember what words are? So yeah, it's kind of similar to the Woodland Mansion, but obviously it's kind of just worse to live in. Like there's a bunch of pillagers, or at least there should be, and yeah, so it would be pretty dangerous to live in, and it's not even like a big thing. I mean, it's decently big, but it's not like great for living in like the mansion. It's still alright, but definitely I think belongs in D tier. Alright, so now we're moving into the lower half of D tier, and there's kind of not really like anything good about these structures anymore. And yeah, so here is the shipwreck. So the shipwreck, why did I say shipwreck really? So the ship, bro, I cannot say shipwreck, someone please help. So the shipwreck is not good. I mean, it's literally just a wrecked ship, most of it. I mean, a lot of them are just completely underwater, so that's like really bad, but assuming you get one with some above water, I mean, obviously there's a bit of place to live, but like, it's completely exposed, just a bunch of like rotting wood it would be in real life, and a lot of it's just underwater. Yeah, this one is not ideal. Honestly, I don't blame you if you think this one should be even lower, considering a lot of shipwrecks are just completely underwater, and at that point, like, unless you love drowning, then yeah. Alright, and now next up is the dungeon. So yeah, you can kind of see where this is going now in the, like, this is, I mean, it's just a cobblestone box, like, it's got some chests. Obviously, it's got just a spawner, well, spawning a bunch of zombies like that. Yeah, you would not have a good time living in here. It's pretty much just an underground cobblestone box. And yeah, honestly, again, this one arguably, now that I'm looking at it properly after writing this, could be lower, but I'll let you guys decide. And so next up is everyone's favourite structure, the desert well. So for this one, bro, what is with all these wandering traders? What, go away. So this one obviously is not good. It's literally just a hole in the ground with some water in it in the middle of the desert. It's not even like a house, it's just like it's pretty open. Yeah, I definitely would not want to live here. This is one of the two exceptions on this list, which are actually in the structure-like features on the Minecraft wiki page, that being the desert well and the dungeon, are both, apparently according to the Minecraft wiki, not actual structures. But I included them on this list just because they definitely feel like structures, most people consider them. I was going to include all of the structure-like features, but like, some of them are just like the end gateway used to get to the outer islands, and a lot of them are just like that, and how am I supposed to rank that like over and over and over? I mean, to be honest, you could say that's literally just what I'm doing with these structures, but anyway. Alright, so number 17 is the Ancient City. Now, it's a nice big place, and that's pretty much where the good stuff about it ends. So, first off, I mean, if I just turn this off, it's in near complete darkness, and it's really far underground, so that would, for a start, be really miserable to live in. I mean, this is not exactly ideal. And even aside from that, you always have to be quiet, or else you just summon a warden, and unlike the other ones, yeah, you are not dealing with that thing. Like, there's some stuff in the chests, but they're not even that useful for the most part. Like, yippee, I can craft a music disc to play down here while I'm getting killed by the warden, would be. So the last two in D aren't necessarily as bad as the other ones, but like, they're just kind of not even possible to live in. Like, Ruin Portal is the next one, and like, what do you even do? Like, there's nowhere to like live. It's literally just a broken portal and some lava. Like, there's not really much you can do. Like, yeah, again, you could argue it being higher because it's not as deadly, I guess, but like, just the fact that like it's not even resembling a house, I think it like deserves to be pretty low down. And then at the bottom of D tier, ending it off, is the Ocean Ruin. So yeah, again, I kind of didn't really know where to put this one, like Ruin Portal, but like especially this one, it's just underwater. So unless you can get like an air pocket or something in here, or you love drowning, then yeah, I mean, it's pretty bad. This one is just basically a bunch of stone at the bottom of the ocean. Considering where I've put one of the other ones on this list, this one definitely is F-worthy, maybe, depending on what you think. But for now, I'll keep it at the bottom of D. Alright, so that's it for the tier list, and wait. You're saying there's more structures worse than this? So now we are moving into F tier, and if you live in any of these structures, then yeah, you're really not going to be having a good time. And so starting off in F tier is the Bastion. So in terms of the actual structure, it's pretty big. A lot of it is just in ruins, like, so obviously that's not ideal. But mainly it's just being in the nether. I mean, look at this. Like, any structure in the nether, I feel like, has got to be F tier. Like, who would want to live in here? This is like, I mean, it's awful. There's just lava everywhere. Like, yeah, no. And even inside the Bastion itself, I mean, there's piglins everywhere, especially the brutes. Like, even just inside the Bastion itself, I feel like you would not last long. So, like, you pretty much just die from being in the nether, falling in lava, piglin brutes. So, yeah, I think this is worthy of the first F tier. And then next up, I guess sort of similar to the Bastion, is the Nether Fortress. So yeah, I mean, this one obviously is in the nether, just like the Bastion, which is a problem. And also the structure itself is arguably worse, because it's just a bunch of corridors and bridges and stuff. And yeah, I mean, there's just blazes everywhere setting you on fire. They just spawn from these spawners. The wither skeletons, I mean, you gotta just look at my last video to know what I think about wither in real life. And overall, I mean, you would just be having not a good time in here, in the fortress. These wither skeletons like keep spawning, blazes keep spawning. At this point, it wouldn't be so much living in the structures rather than just dying in the structures. And actually, our third to last structure is right here, the nether fossil. Now, This one is sort of with like the ones where it's just not even really a structure. Like, what is this? How are you supposed to live in this? It's just some bones. Coupled with that, the fact that it's in the nether, in like a soul sand valley where there's skeletons, ghasts, all other kinds of enemies around. It doesn't give you any protection. It's literally just a couple of bones. Like, I don't know how this is a structure, but the dungeon isn't. But anyway, thank you Minecraft Wiki, very cool. Alright, so now we are at the second to worst structure to live in the entire game. And here I've put the Ocean Monument. It's actually just called the Monument for some reason in Minecraft, even though it's in the ocean, that's why I'm quite anyway. So, this one is just literally everything about this is bad, I guess apart from that it's decently big. And yeah, I think you could be thinking that the nether ones are worse, but in my opinion this is arguably just as bad, if not worse. So first off, it's just underwater completely, so like again you would drown unless you somehow manage to find some way to breathe. There's guardians everywhere that infinitely spawn, so you can't get rid of them, and they just like laser beam you. Couple all of this with the fact that there's elder guardians in here, which just give you mining fatigue, so you can't mine out. It's pretty much just an absolute nightmare. Like, you're basically just trapped in here, drowning, you can't mine out, you're getting laser beamed by guardians, and yeah, overall, I think this one is just, I mean, it's just awful. Like, even this guy is shaking, he doesn't want to live in here either. So yeah, this one is kind of just pretty much uninhabitable. Like, you just get harassed by guardians, you can't mine out or break out, I don't know, and you just drown most likely. Yeah, definitely not a place I'd recommend to live. Alright, so this is it. We've gone through every structure in the game, and this is the worst one to live in real life. And it is the buried treasure. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I kind of did just put this one this low down for funny, because like, how is this a structure in the Dungeons as it well are? Like, it's just a chest in the ground, it's not a structure. Like, yeah, the other F tier ones are like probably worse than this because you would just die in them. But like, it's just a chest, like you just have to squeeze yourself into a chest with all this other random stuff. And it's like, oh wow, amazing house, great. Like, it's not a structure, like you could barely fit in it, let alone like live in it properly. And while yeah, I think the other ones in F tier are probably worse than this, as they kind of just involve you dying, well, yeah, this is my video, I can put things where I want. Alright, so that is it. That is every structure in Minecraft ranked by its habitability in real life. So I did obviously mention this before briefly, but that's every structure that's classified as a structure on the Minecraft wiki page, other than the dungeon and desert well, which weren't technically classified as structures, but I included them anyway. So yeah, I definitely don't think I'm going to be getting a mortgage on any of these structures. And, what am I talking about? These are Minecraft structures. What am I doing?